So they drugged us up.
You spent most of your life snowballed in the corner, just
snoring it up. I take a lot of that Ritalin.
Welcome to the Spindash Retro Gaming Podcast. Prepare yourself for the joy of classic gaming, fired straight into your delicate little earholes. Fire away.
What's everyone drinking? I've seen some tasty cans over there.
Oh yeah,
Looks like a tall boy, actually.
It is. It is the Bissell Brothers Pinnacle beer, the Swish. It's been in the cabinet for 6 months.
Ooh,
it is very tasty.
I haven't had that yet.
It's a double IPA.
Oh,
I wanted some Bissell up here. I was hunting for them.
Junk IPAs.
Matt, I'll get it for you anytime, man. You let me know.
Oh man, I tried. I've checked a couple times. I have to go to a bigger store. I think if I went to like Damon's or something, I could get it. But
you want me to bring you some? I'm going up.
Let me check.
Way.
Let me check.
All right, it's right down the street, man. It's in my convenience store.
Yeah, I'll have to check.
Yeah. All right.
I am drinking a Marsh Island Vibe. It too is an IPA, but it's only a regular IPA, not a double IPA.
You got some Equalizer graphics on there. It looks pretty cool.
It's pretty fancy looking. Yeah, it's right here, right in Orono.
All right.
America.
You have a cup of
I have a cup. So this is actually in honor of our game of the week. I am drinking Fireball or PK Fire.
PK Fire.
I'm actually doing Fireball with some. Cause the only cola product I have is Pepsi.
Somebody should Photoshop Pitbull onto Lucas. PK Fireball and have that music playing. Yeah, that song was catchy.
The song appeared at every wedding ever when someone was 5 years. Fireball. Yeah.
Yep. Who strapped the GoPro to the Fireball?
Justin.
Yes.
And we've not found the footage of that.
Yeah, man.
I think he's just got it hoarded on a computer somewhere, so he just watches it himself. Like, no one will see this video but me.
Right? He lives outdoors. He checks his email like once every 2 days when the Wi-Fi winds blow right.
So what's new with everyone today? Since it's been a hot minute.
Well,
I got nothing new.
I got back from camp.
There you go.
We were there for a week and a half. That's the longest stint in some time. I was worried when we got there and we tried to stream a movie and it would crap out every 3 minutes. So I sent you guys a picture of what the connection looked like at the house, and it had a ground wire leading to the whole house ground, and it was all blue from corrosion on the interface. It looked I think that whatever it's called, I don't even know what it is, was from the 1960s.
It looked like you were like rigging up internet or telephone lines in this third world country. Yeah. And they were just like strapping bare metal on things, trying to get the signal to the local village hut.
Using That's what parts left over from World War II. I was waiting for
like seeing Rory in the background, pedaling a bike just to like raise the antenna or whatever to get power to whatever you need to.
I bought some connector things and I YouTubed it, and I just jerry rigged it and it works. It went from 0.4 upload to like 0.9. So progress.
So you're like on par with my standard speed.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. It's pretty rough out there, but hey, you can't beat that view and that spot. So
no.
I mean, we'd love to see it. We're not allowed out there, so
yeah. September maybe we can do something. Yeah, we'll see.
September's so busy.
Yeah. Late September.
Because me and you both got married in September, so we have our anniversary.
That's early. Yours isn't 2 weekends.
No, mine's there. Yeah, but we got the wedding. We have our friend Anthony's wedding at the beginning.
That's
too.
Columbus Day. That's
Labor Day.
Columbus Day. Labor Day.
It's Labor Day weekend.
End of September, man. We're good to go.
Anniversaries are like a recommended date. It's not like a requirement.
Yeah.
It's.
Mine's on a Friday.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I was skating some thin ice until recently, so.
You're out of the doghouse. Your goal is to stay on.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Things got. I was almost calling one of you motherfuckers and staying on your either couch or spare bedroom for a little bit.
If I come home, she will kill me.
Could have sent you out to Hall with my cousin for the summer.
Yeah. I probably should have done that. Well, I guess on my side, this is not really gaming news. Well, actually, it will be, in the sense of this is going to give me some more income to pay the bills. But even greater, I just found out even better news is I'll be getting my residuals from my other company as well as extra money. And I'm just going to take that and stash that away as well for
All right.
upgrading some shit.
Dreamcast.
Do it.
If everything works out, I should be pulling an extra cool $700 a month. That's not that. I'm just saying that's my residuals from the old company.
Yeah, that's good, man.
So I'm like
Dreamcast.
I'm like, what can I buy with that? I'm like,
Well, I got a Dreamcast for trade.
What do you want? You already have
but
one.
yours can't be modded. Yours is
Not in your fashion. We could figure something out, man. They all can be modded.
I mean, the only
Everything.
game I really liked on the Dreamcast was it Dreamcast. Yeah, it was.
It's a Sega product, Nick. Don't say you only like one thing.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't really get into this the Dreamcast too much.
They got some good stuff on there.
What was it? I think it was Soul Reaver.
Yeah.
Legacy of Kain. Soul Reaver.
So I played that I played that on the Dreamcast versus the PS1 when it came out, or PS2, PS1.
One, I think.
Yeah,
that game was at every Bull Moose for like from 2000
it's a
to
solid
2005
game.
for
Add it
$3.
to the list, baby. Add it to the
my God.
list.
That is a solid game.
We should have gone around in college and like cleaned out every game store we could, because video games were so low back then.
There's stories of people like selling copies upon copies of Earthbound. They couldn't get rid of it.
Jesus.
Earthbound and 32Xs. Can you imagine?
Yeah. Crazy.
There used to be a nice game store right in Lewiston.
Yeah.
Right on the corner of what's that? Matt, you're gonna probably remember more than I can. It's
I'm not remembering directions.
Yeah,
no, it's
in the state of Maine.
Well, no, it's going on. It's that road that goes up past Luigi's.
Past Luigi's?
Yeah, it's a road that Luigi's is on.
I can't remember the name of it. I know who you are.
Yeah, Spindash. But there's an awesome store where literally it would be a wall, like a library style wall of just NES games, SNES games, Sega games, just like loaded, and they have like NES games for like $1, $2 a piece, and it'd be good titles too.
Not Color a Dinosaur or other bullshit Barbie something.
Yeah. They had Little Mermaid by the dozen, all for you, Matt.
Yeah. Imagine the pickups that we would have if we had stores like that and prices like that. Man, we could rack off a laundry list.
Well, I went
15 years too late, man.
Yeah.
Those retro game stores are having a hard time getting product because everyone's selling the retro stuff online.
Yeah.
But they're also overpricing it online as well. They're going way above and beyond even the book value, retail value.
Yeah. I was the next town over for a chiropractor appointment today. And on the way home, there's the York County Trading Post. And I was like, I've been meaning to check that out. I got 10 minutes. I pulled in, and they had like a decent little game section. They had all systems. And I was like, I want GameCube. They had a few. And they had $100 on Super Mario Sunshine.
Jesus.
No, excuse me. What was it? Paper Mario. 1,000-Year Door. $100.
That's close. Isn't it like that's about $80 right now?
It's in that realm.
Yeah. It's only like $5-10 higher, I think.
I should add that to the list just to be a dick. But,
Isn't that good of a game?
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah, Paper Mario games are awesome. The one on 64 I played a lot. Yeah. Let's segue that into pickups.
Yeah.
I got a pseudo pickup. What was a
Pseudo.
gift? It was a
What'd you
pickup. I got a thumb drive of some great games I see we'll be playing on the PS2 that Matt gifted me.
Very legal, of course. Very legal.
Very.
The show is
he owns
very
them
up and
all.
up.
It's all copies of his owned games.
Yeah, we have multiple copies of Mr. Mosquito at 150 to 200 something bucks a piece. I just wanted to put it on a memory stick for Nick before I transfer the real copy that I have.
Yeah.
Sealed, of course.
Yes.
So, yeah, dry spell. I'm kind of in the dry spell for the time being. I picked up for the X Station, for the thing I modded the PS1. I picked up an SD card. Like Laser Bear makes these 3D printed things, so you have a nice SD card that you can slide things right into.
So snazzy.
But that's it. I mean, really nothing all that exciting. I wish I had something to report.
You're going to mod all of your stuff, and then you're not going to have anything to do.
What I want to get to, my dream, like collecting, is I want to have every system and have them all modded so I can play whatever.
Yeah.
And then there's no pressure for me to have any pickups. And then it goes back to being the thrill of the hunt. So like if I wanted to play something, I can always I've got an EverDrive. I've got the GameCube modded. I've got the PS1 modded. Like I don't care. I don't need this. But the thrill of the hunt, it's like, well, can I get a good deal? That's where I want to get to is to a point where I don't care about it. I want to hunt for it.
That's my bread and butter. That's what I live for. It's finding deals.
I love those deals. I haven't found none in a while.
I got one in the works. We'll see.
Yeah, I saw that, John. Well, speaking of next Thursday, Friday, and that goes all the way till the Sunday, is the the Heart yard sale that they have. So where people donate a bunch of stuff. That's where I got my PS2, my Wii, some games out there, Pokemon games out there for the DS. So that's next week there. Keep on your radar, John.
Yeah, man. If you see anything, just send me a message and I'll
be there donating some time next Monday and Tuesday. Getting stuff loading in.
Snagging up all that Dreamcast merch that shows up there.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be pricing it. So if I see something I like, I just give it to the person. And like, hey, price this for me. And I'll buy it when we open up.
I'll keep you guys in mind this weekend, too, when I'm at my dad's house purging some buildings of antiques.
If your dad is sitting on a Vectrex, I swear to God, I will drive out from whatever I'm doing.
I think the only video game related things are going to be some junk Ataris.
Dude,
somewhere.
Get them out.
If they're busted, I will fuck with them.
Yeah, I know you will. I'll just give you all my corpses.
Nick would be so mad. She'll show up with like 30 dead Ataris.
I'm pretty sure there's
every
at least
one has a copy
4,
of ET in it.
Right? I know there's at least 4 somewhere. Because when I was young, he'd just find them and we'd be playing one and it would just go, it would just die. And be like, oh, that's all right. We'll find another one. So and there's that other system. It was like a Panasonic, or I don't know what it is.
3D
Odyssey, Magnavox, Odyssey. Yeah,
Magnavox.
Yeah. There's one of those somewhere. He said he never threw anything out.
Give me a really chubby instead of 3DO that you randomly had.
Yeah, no, not quite. But I think there's also I remember I had G.I. Joes as a kid, and the little ones.
Ooh, the good ones. Well, no.
And there's the Star Wars figures and the Millennium Falcon case.
Oh.
Which I think is worth some money. I think I saw somewhere a few $100 for that.
You can find any of your old figurines, dude. You can just make some good money right now.
Yeah,
the retro toy market's really hot.
Yeah, I got some stuff I got to dig out of my own garage to purge.
I went to my folks and I was like, oh man, I have my own Pokemon cards. Those are worth a lot now. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my God, I'm fucking rich. I saved all my first gen Pokemon cards. They're not actually worth all that much. You have to have like specific, like first print, no shadow, must be hollow, it's like,
it's annoying.
I'm going to keep them because me and my kids will have fun with them, but they're not worth anything like that. They're basically like,
check them all through.
Yeah. I could probably get, $10, $15 for a couple of them here or there.
Yeah. A hollow Charizard?
No, nothing. They're nothing all that rare. It's just because they're first gen, they're worth more, but it's not worth the shipping to sell them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I sold out like 2014. You pay for shipping?
Well, it's baked into the price, or they have plus, this plus shipping on eBay.
Oh, yeah, I said I always add the price, make them pay shipping. Fuck that.
$7.95 shipping and handling, whatever.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, so try. You see people selling for things on there. It's like, well, okay, I'd sell it for, $10 total. It's like, well, or I could just not deal with it and keep it.
Yeah, I sold out 2014. I think I got like $200.
Yep,
for my binder. But yeah, my buddy Joe, man, he got the real deal in a giant poster frame. It's like 4x5 in his office, or 3x5 on the wall. And he's like, that's my retirement.
Mint first edition Charizard.
Yeah. He doesn't, he has dual income, no kid, living cheap.
Oh, he's a dink.
Man. Yeah. And he's working. He was coming out. He was going up to his parents' place in like, where was it? Clifton, near Holden, where I used to live. So he swung out to my camp for a day, and we went to lunch, and then we were playing games, and we had like a lobster dinner because he hadn't had Vinyl Haven lobster before. And he's like, all right, I got to work now. And he's pulling 4 p.m. to 5 a.m. shifts for support for all these new accounts they're setting up. And so he was at my camp sitting at this dinky little table all night. And he's like, yeah, I'm just doing this so we can afford whatever. He's like, we're planning another vacation for like 2 months. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. I'd do that if I didn't have a kid. Yeah.
Kids change shit. I'm not going to lie. Kids change your outlook. I have that in my notes flagged for this episode because I want to mention that when we get to the tail end. Kids,
totally.
Kids change your perspective on shit.
Yep. Especially one person in this game.
So I guess, are we going to jump right on into it then?
I'm game.
Oh, let's do it.
So we are back for the second part of Mother 3 for the Game Boy Advance. And I think we left off on Chapter 5, right?
Yeah. We just entered Chapter 5.
We just ended Chapter 5?
We're going into Chapter 5.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So Chapter 5. Nick, I think you were starting 5 last time. Can you give us a little...
I was getting into 4 last time.
Yep. Okay.
So, and it was great. And actually, I actually started to like the game because that first half is a skank of a playthrough. So yeah, I mean, Chapter 4 is you go and you're pretty much getting the gang together. You're getting the final troop together. So, Chapter 4, we'll just recap. You go in I like to say pretty much just a titty bar. Let's be honest. I'm assuming that they're alluding to that. I mean, You had to work a factory. It's weird because it's like the old coal mining towns in the the South, where you work at the factory and they pay you with their own money to go to their own stores, their own clubs.
Indentured servitude.
Yep. So, and then you go to your club and you pretty much end up discovering the princess of the broken castle, and she's a waitress or a server or maybe a shot girl. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
she's a saint now.
She's like 16, so she's there on permission. She's not
right. And then you pretty much get Duster as well, but you have to get Duster's memory back. And then after you get Duster's memory back, he's going through back where he hid the egg, and that leads you into Chapter 5, where your ultimate goal is to get to the Tower of Lightning. That it seems to be zapping everyone that does not have a happy box.
Yeah. Now, Nick, the last time you were pro happy box, are you still pro happy box after you've got into Chapter 5?
I'm just saying, life would probably be better with a happy box.
Docile and compliant, right there.
I'm still pro capitalism. Let's just be honest. Let's keep that straight here. But I never, me, I really never go really down into the story. It's more or less my always objective is make the characters I have as strong as I can into the best outcome possible of taking them there. Through Chapter 5, I found myself using, and you guys did it kind of different, is you used Lucas and the princess as your attackers. And I think you said you used the dog and Duster as your buffers and debuffers. And I did almost the opposite in the sense of I used Duster in Chapter 5 for my attack a lot. And I use Lucas as my buff and debuffer.
You can start out with Lucas like doing those, and then his group attack, whatever you call it, right? Like
PK Mafuji.
PK home run was mine. So like, I would always do like offense down for the enemy and then defense up for my guys and then hit them with the group attack.
That was always my strategy too. Like I would go my first run when I would run through and I had all four. It would be like Lucas is going to do like a shield, or Lucas is going to do a counter. Lucas is going to do something to benefit my party. Kumatora is going to come in and do like a defense down on whoever I'm fighting. If it's a boss or something like that. Duster's going to do either like a smoke bomb or a scary mask or a tickle stick, something to make
tickle stick.
Yeah. Tickle stick was great. Yeah. And then Boney's really there, in the first round, maybe he's going to do support, heal someone I wasn't paying attention with. Using the shield snatcher. We'll talk about that later. Was like, I gave that to Boney and let Boney run with that and like give me the one up. I would try to leverage everyone to what I thought their strengths were. So like Lucas is clearly your healer because of all his stats and all his skills, but he can hit hard. So everyone kind of had a dual role, I found.
Yeah.
I think Kumatora just hit.
Yeah, dude, that PK later on when you get like PK ground or PK
ground is nasty.
That was nuts. Yeah.
Do you think they'll actually bring some of these characters into, or would you like to see them bring these characters into some like Smash Brothers or something like that than some of the ones that they've had?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if there's an assist trophy from Mother 3.
They've all got assists, I think, but or assists or stickers or something like that.
Stickers, yeah. I mean, it's either like you got to be a playable character for me to really know who you are, because how many friggin' assist trophies are there in Smash Bros. Ultimate? Like, I don't even know some of them. It's escaped me.
I'm still going through it.
Yeah. No, it would be great, man. They could bring in Duster as a playable character. That'd be hilarious. He'd have a lot of stuff in his arsenal.
Yeah,
it's already built into the game.
Like all his items, all his weapons, and all his tactics and stuff like that. They're all really cool. They'd be cool in a fighting game. Like throws the staples, pulls out the tickle stick. Puts a mask on. Like it's awesome. Like Duster's so cool.
Right?
Underrated character, I think.
Yeah. Doesn't say a word for 90% of the time.
So I think, Nick, you got us to the point where, so you mentioned that Duster went and Duster knows where the egg is hidden. And I think he's hidden it in a Clayman.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, that Clayman gets zapped, and I can't remember why, but you do end up going up into the tower. I think that's no, I think, don't you end up on the highway? No, you're on the highway, because I want to talk to you guys about that part, because I'm curious if you guys got all the mice. Because after you're in the forest, for some reason, I guess, what was it? You can't get into the Thunder Tower. I can't remember what happens, but you end up on the highway in like the pork and beans.
Yeah.
Like the weird like ship that like you drive around with on the highway that runs out of gas.
Pork bean, yeah.
The pork bean. Did you remember to fill it up?
I did.
Yeah.
I did.
But I only remember because I was using a lot. This game made me feel like I was, 10 again, in the sense of I needed a guide to go through this game. And not just because it was hard, but because like I want to make sure I accomplished everything, got the story to where I wanted to. And like some things I'm like, am I fully using this guy to potential? What's like, who is the best to do for this? Who's the best to do for this? All these little things. And I was just kept on going, like either reading, game facts or watching YouTubers, play this game and just seeing what they did, how to take out bosses and stuff. Like, okay, that should be there. And mainly kind of speed up the process for me to be able to, speak on it today. But it had me after chapter 4, I was actually fully engaged and like, okay, where do I go from here? Okay. I travel in this area for a little bit. Okay, am I walking in circles? Why am I walking in circles? Let me check out where I need to go. And this game does have you walking in circles so much.
Yeah, yep. And you encounter the same enemies too, so it slows you down. Like they just respawn as soon as you leave the visual area.
Oh, let's talk about some of these enemies. Like seriously, was it like the tentacle lion? Like just a lion with a bunch of tentacles coming out.
The reconstructed lion. That thing was nasty.
Yeah.
And then was it like is it like a kangaroo shark?
Kangaroo shark.
Yeah. There's like a missile, like a rhino missile that hits all four and then moves up and down the line.
You could just die so randomly in this game from a normal enemy if you weren't at the right level. Like every time you get in a new chapter and you're like, I'm all right. And you get a little overconfident because you win some fights and then something just kicks your butt and you got to just grind for like an hour.
I went into this game with like a Final Fantasy mindset. Like that's how I think I go into a lot of JRPGs. Like Final Fantasy is kind of like the benchmark. It's kind of my thinking is at a Final Fantasy level and I'll adjust from there. And it's like this game, if you go in and think that you can like bullshit your way through it and just keep hitting fight, keep hitting hit.
Yeah, not at all.
That's not how this game is meant to operate. It right? Really like you need to have a strategy. I found that I would sit there because I'm a grinder. Like when I pick up a JRPG, like I want to go sit, I want to put something on the TV. The Olympics have been on. I've been watching the Olympics. I'm just going to sit there and grind. I'm going to get a ton of fucking levels. And then when I fight a bad guy, I'm going to wreck the shit out of this thing.
Yeah.
This game doesn't care. I realized it near the end.
Oh, you could be like level 70, 200, whatever be the max out and get your ass handed to you.
It doesn't care. It blew my mind. It was a changing experience for me.
Have you guys started to master the music combo?
I got 5.
I got 6.
Nice.
Like I think that's where I was going. Boney was the one I had no problem doing it with.
Boney was the easiest. Yeah. Yep.
I like that we're excited about 4s and 5s and 6s. You get up to 16.
Yeah, the crowd like cheers.
It was like every character was getting like 14, 16 combos. I'm like,
it's crazy, man. Yeah. And it's not like I listened to it and with the music, with the video I watched this guy like do a dozen at least. It's like it doesn't even sound like he's hitting the button with the music beat because those songs could change so rapidly. Like,
Well, I think
they
that's
didn't
where
have a good cadence.
that book that you get in chapter 3.
Yeah, yeah, you could practice. Yeah,
No,
But they
two.
still-
It's 2. Then you get the book, then you're supposed to practice and just practice and practice, and that way it
Right.
doesn't matter what the music was. You just kind of already knew what the button pattern was for that each enemy.
But they still will mess up the music. So when I was pulling, because like on our episodes, I try to break up sections of talking, put some music. It kind of gets you the feel of the game as you're listening to us talk about it.
yeah,
There are multiple versions of the same song in the soundtrack.
yeah.
And they will go in like, depending on what you have, there'll be a section of the song that will get all jumbled, and then it will skip beats, and then it will move on to the next section. Like
This might be one of the most prolific soundtracks we've ever had in a game.
There's so much.
If you look, there's like 120 tracks to this.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Like musically, this game is insane. It is absolutely insane.
On the Game Boy Advance, nonetheless, which I think had decent hardware for sound, but
no bueno sound.
Shitty
Really?
speaker.
Oh,
terrible.
There's like
Terrible
what, Nokia
sound.
style. Nokia bar phone was what you're looking at almost.
They didn't upgrade from the original Game Boy, I guess, huh?
If you go and you search around, you can find somebody who's taken like years ago. These are all old files. They've taken the scratchiness that you kind of get with that Game Boy Advance sound,
Yeah,
and they've cleaned it up so they have like really nice versions of the songs in the game. The soundtrack's fantastic. Like I don't think we mentioned this the last time.
I played it on YouTube a little bit today, and it was like, wow.
Well, who else has been playing the game music? Wasn't the Olympics playing some game music?
Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy. I heard that when they were marching in at the opening ceremony. I'm like, Nikki, it's fucking Chrono Trigger. She's like, you're a dork. It's like, I don't care.
Well, you're not the only one because it hit the internet too. It hit Twitter. So
it was like you'd hear a track that you knew you've heard 50 million times, and you just start screeching about it, and then the other person in the room with you had no connect, wouldn't know what Chrono Trigger is if it hit him in the face. And like, I don't care. It's like, well, I guess I'm gonna enjoy this while Argentina walks in, then by myself.
Yeah.
But there's a reason also in this. Jump back into the game. There's a reason also why you are able to kind of move around the highway as well. You're confused. The pig mask confuse you for their commander.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Right?
Because they give
spoilers.
They give you the vehicle, right?
Yeah, and
then they're all, commander, sir. Yeah, here, take my pork bean.
And then it slips on a banana peel. And you crash it, right?
Because of facade.
Yeah.
And they go to give you another one, and you're like, wait, you're those punk kids.
Well, it's a guy from the bar from chapter 4. Is that pig guy, like a big broody guy that's kind of like a mini boss.
Fierce pork trooper.
Yeah.
And did you guys have a bunch of DCMC merch lying around?
Duster just straight up flashed him, the boxers. And he'd be mesmerized. Yeah,
I had a stack
that was an easy fight.
DCMC merch. I just keep chucking it at people.
So did it damage him pretty well?
No, they just numbed him. They just like were blown away by the fact that they fangirled out on it.
Right? Because the boxers definitely like for 2 turns he'd be like, I'm in state of stupor.
I found that those type of buffs or debuffs were the best thing to do if you can get them either turn around or sleep or there. Because if they're not attacking those rounds, you could, especially when you have 4 characters, you can do some really good damage. And I think I got to a point when I got to him where I was hitting 160, 180 to 200 with Duster easy after buffing him out.
Yeah, you can get some high hits in.
This is about the portion of the game, and we talked about this last episode, the odometer, but we didn't get into a whole lot as far as...
The odometer is neat.
We talked about the odometer rolling and how that's kind of a unique thing. I've never seen that in any other game. Maybe Earthbound had it, but the odometer, like once you get into Chapter 5 and beyond, like that becomes a strategy element. And it's crazy. Like right around this time, I remember fighting that guy, and I want to say maybe another one of them, but I think it's him. Like he would mortally damage a couple of my people. So I'd be flicking through the menu as fast as I could. It's like, I've got to get down to Boney. Boney has all my healing items. I've got to get my whole line down. Like if I can get to Boney, I can save everyone else in my lineup.
And Boney's the fastest too. So there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Boney on the spot as the healer is very good call because he's right there. As soon as you hit something, it's him. Yeah. Yeah. And then I saw too, like as if you could wait. Like you didn't click A for them to attack. So if you healed, it would allow your points to go up if you just didn't press A. You know, you waited a little bit. It's like he's charging up and then you're like, okay, I'm just going to wait for it. And then, it scrolls all the way back up.
Hold that thought when we get to Chapter 8 because that's huge.
Yeah.
The holding of things.
Right.
Did you guys get the Shield Snatcher? Did you guys go through that whole thing on the highway?
No, I didn't.
No.
So this game will let you miss like one of the most important items in it. Like your playthroughs either were a bitch or are going to be a bitch.
Yeah.
But there's a mouse that you find. There's a mother mouse on the highway. And if you get out of your pork bean and go talk to her, she says, I'm missing my 7 kids. Can you help me find them?
Oh boy.
And so like I ran out of gas. So I'm doing all this on foot and I'm just getting wrecked by all these people. If you find all 7 of these mice, they give you like one of those like slappy arm things. You know the gooey arms you get out of the gumball machines?
Oh, yeah.
That will take away anyone's shield. And it's an item you can keep using. It doesn't go away.
Nice.
So I would give that to Boney. And like right off the start, Boney would like take away everyone's shield. And it would make the battle like I'm curious how far you guys got because the facade fights are going to be a bitch if you didn't have that Shield Snatcher.
Well,
I got to the volcano.
Okay.
I got 10 minutes into 7 because my whole BitBoy corrupted.
Well, tell us about that, Nick.
Well, I thought I'd be a great dad. You know, let my kid play my video games. And I put it on and just she's not really doing much besides going into circles. The next thing, Daddy. Okay, take a look at it. And just don't know how, but it just corrupted it.
Yikes.
So I had to, restart from everything from the beginning. I was like,
too late in the game for that one.
So John, you've lost an ActRaiser file. Nick, you've lost a Mother 3 file. We should keep a record of who wipes out.
Glitchy.
So did you guys make it up the Thunder Tower?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
One thing that I noticed about this game, and I'm not bitching. I'm very happy we played this game. I'm very happy. Like I cannot. Nice work.
People
John.
say that they're not bitching.
Yeah.
Means they're bitching.
But man, I wish I would have played Earthbound first in some meaningful way, other than playing for 5 minutes, saying the game sucked and putting it down.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of little things in this game that if you had played Earthbound, you would have gone, holy shit. This game, I understand how this ties into Earthbound. Oh my God, that's crazy. And for us,
right?
Porky. So I don't know. Did you know of any, other than the Pigmask men, any hint that Porky might be the bad guy before this tower?
Not really. Just the pig masks. Porky.
Yeah, I thought it was its own game all in all, but when I saw Porky, I'm like, hey, he's familiar.
Right?
Because I know in the tower, you end up, one of the floors on this Thunder Tower is like a Porky playroom.
Yeah.
And that's what it's got the you were telling me, John, something happened when you tried to get the yo-yo?
Oh, that robot attacks you, the robot doll, and she was a bitch. She was hard, dude. That thing kicked my butt. What was that called? The Little Miss Marshmallow. She goes bananas and zaps you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I was lucky in that I had a bunch of raincoats, like rubber raincoats. So I went up this. I didn't get zapped. Like everyone in this tower used electric attacks, which makes sense. It's the friggin' thunder tower. But
well, you do. You have to kind of get zapped. Lucas gets zapped.
yes,
and he gets his new. He gets his new ability, PK Flash.
Right.
I like how it's always like he's feverish. Like they do the feverish, and he can't do anything.
Oh, that got so annoying.
By the way, there's
Can't
2 things
run.
that annoy me: is the fevers because you can't run, you can't do anything. So pretty much all you do is, I just found a little spot and just walked in like circles until it was done.
Yep.
The other thing that pissed me off is if you had one of your members faint or like there, and they're like healthy, you're like, oh shit, I need to get, and you can't heal them. You had to find yourself something that would revive them. I'm like, son of a bitch. And you're just like, I got caught in chapter 4 specifically with Boney. And Boney's like, I had to go through, and as you're going through the tunnel, and I'm trying to dodge all these friggin' chicken snakes or whatever they are. Like, son of a bitch. And I'm just getting like clobbered. And I'm like, restart.
Right.
I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to, I'm like, fuck this. I'm not encountering any fucking enemies. I've dashed through the whole thing and just hope for the best.
And you can't run. If you're in a battle and somebody's dead, you can't escape. Like this game kicks you when you're down.
Yep.
Like
you're done.
It stomps on your nuts, what it does.
So you end up at the top of the tower and you fight the generator. And I had the raincoat, so this fight wasn't actually too bad for me. I don't know if this was a bitch for you guys.
I did have one on Boney, and he got fried.
Yeah.
So animal abuse, this game, other reason why this game will not be in North America.
The remake on Switch.
I'll make sure I continue the list. I've got it right here.
Salsa, dude. How many times does Salsa get zapped? Like 40?
Yeah,
oh my
animal
God.
abuse is rampant. Rampant animal abuse.
Poor monkey.
I do like, so after you beat the generator, Facade's up at the top of the goddamn tower, like bitching at you.
Yeah.
And you've been watching this dude eat bananas and drop banana peels the whole game. And you've got that,
smooth.
like, you're in the back of your mind, you're like, well, there's a gun. They're going to have to use the gun in the play. Was it Chekhov? What's the name of the thing in the play, John, when they've got a gun and the gun has to be used in the play if you see the gun?
Oh, you would ask me. I don't remember. I think it's... Is it a Chekhov? You might be right. Yeah.
Well, either way, you watch this dumbass eat bananas and throw banana peels the whole game. And then finally, the fucker slips on the banana peel and falls off the tower. And it's like, well, that's satisfying. I expected that the whole game. And you escape. And this is the point in the game where you've got the snake rope. Like you're getting hauled in the air and everyone's holding on to the snake rope. And he has some funny line. I can't remember what it is, but it's just like, I have a jaw-dropping surprise for you guys. I can't hold on any longer.
The rope is clutch, man. He's very witty. You were right. It is Chekhov's gun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chalk that up.
Yeah. Good call.
So I had to double check something for Porky.
Yeah.
So in Earthbound, he's 13. In Mother 3, it says age unknown, estimated between 1,000 to 10,000.
I'll explain that later because it's
Holy
fucked.
Moses.
Dude, I'm so bummed you guys didn't get to the ending because the ending in this game is the most insane thing ever. But we'll get to that later.
Oh, I previewed it.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be finishing this game up, but I'm halfway through Earthbound on my thing. So I'm probably going to go through Earthbound.
Honestly, add it to the list. Again, I don't know. I'd play it. I'm excited about this game. All right, Chapter 6. The longest chapter of the game. It was arduous and grueling. It took me no less than 10 hours to get through Chapter 6. How about you guys?
Is it because you got lost in a field?
Field.
I went right. No.
Why
Field
am
of
I
flowers.
not doing anything?
Yeah, that was nuts. So
Yeah, very, very quick.
you end
Also,
up in the.
yeah, she's not nice, man. The ghost?
Well, why do you say that?
Well, she makes you jump off a cliff.
No, John. She makes sure that you land safely in the straw down below.
Okay, I pressed A too much.
Yeah, you could have crashed to the earth. But so you wake up in this like dream state after everyone lets go of the snake rope. The snake rope lets go. And you end up in this huge field of sunflowers. Nick, did you get this far?
Yeah.
So like you're running along, you find Boney, and then your mom is dead. Also known as the dumb cunt, as dubbed by you. And she's
got herself killed.
Jesus fuck. So she's beckoning you to come, to her, and you jump off the sunflowers, and then
trust fall.
You basically trust fall into chapter 7. Her voice is the guiding voice that makes sure that you land in like the pile of hay or the pile of leaves and not smash your brain off onto the ground.
That's right. Yeah, you were up in the air, so I guess I forgot there was a dream tangent to this.
Like, I even asked, I'm like, hey, because I remember I was reading some forums like, I thought it was chapter 7 that was like really short. But, and then the reason for that, because they make it fucking up in chapter 7, I hear.
7 is as long as like multiple chapters.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3
like
put together.
7 hours, I think they saw someone say the average playtime
so
through.
long.
It is you do a lot in 7. Like the bulk of the game is in 7.
Yeah. Dude, I got so lost in 7 in the tunnels. Oh, that was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, because in 7, 7 is kind of we need to reunite the party chapter. I want to say you start off with Lucas, and then I can't remember the order. Duster for me was the last to get back, but you're going through multiple locations on this island trying to get everyone back. I believe this is where you learn the concept of the needles, correct?
Yeah.
So do you want to?
And I agree because I only read that.
So you start out and you are Lucas, and one of the Magypsies is tied up on a bridge, and then she wants to go, or they want you to go, because pronouns, up to another one's house to check on them. God, it's gonna be tough.
I think it's her. I've done some reading because I tiptoed around this last time. It's like the last thing that I want to do is get canceled because I don't understand a game made in 2006. But most of the internet described them, I don't know if this is appropriate, as like godlike drag queens. So that's kind of where all the mementos that you pick up include lipstick and razors. And it's like
hilarious, man.
And it's like, okay, I'm comfortable in saying that they are all intended to be drag queens.
Sounds about right. Protectors sent down.
Deities of RuPaul.
Yeah. It's a new show on TLC.
RuPaul guards a dragon.
So you do learn that I think it's one of the Magypsies per needle.
Yep.
So they stick these needles in these, it looks like a vent, like a gaseous vent in the earth, to plug up the dragon from escaping, the dark dragon. And there are 7 needles spread throughout the Nowhere Islands. I remember that from last time. That's where the game takes place. And somebody is going around trying to pull them to release the dragon and cause the end of life, which is bad. So you get filled in on this, and you are tasked with checking on them. And because you have a good heart as Lucas, pulling them yourself. And it apparently won't go wrong if you pull them. Am I far off in that synopsis?
The way I understood it is, if the dragon's pinned down by these needles, and if the needles are pulled up, the dragon will be released and destroy the world. And it will be recreated based on whoever pulled them up, like you said. So if you have a good heart, the world will be reborn in the image of the person with a good heart. So the world will be reborn in a pleasant state. If someone who's evil goes and plucks these things, it will be reborn in an evil state. It will be dark. Things will be deadly and awful. And I think what's key to this game is, if somebody with no heart, with nothing, a void pulls these out, there will be nothingness. So I think that's key to the story for later.
Right?
That you want good to pull them, you don't want bad to pull them, and per this game, you don't want nothingness to pull these needles out.
It's funny that there's 3 schools of being rather than just good and evil. Good, evil, and nothing. So that's the kickoff, and then 7 takes you around, so you find all the other needles, and it takes you all over the place, man.
Did you Chimera Lab? You made it that far, right?
Oh yeah, that was pretty funny. They got some weird hodgepodges in this game.
It's like you had like I think it's just nifty that all the bad guys you fit you had the bird on a stick. Like a bird head on a stick. You had a chicken head on a snake, I think, or worm.
The cattle snake, right? Or
was it cow snake? Was it like a? For me, I thought it was like, oh, what's this weird giraffe that has a low hanging head? That's weird.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it's enemy. I'm like, oh, I'll bash this bastard to the next century. Got my ass handed to me. It would strangle my dog. Again, definitely not going to be released in North America.
Not going to be released.
We're too soft.
So, you fight a few things in the Chimera Lab, and this is where you see the red Chimera, right? Is that the big scary looking one?
Yeah.
So they warn you, do not even touch it. Because the fight kills you. He just kicks your butt in 10 seconds. But I like that because I remember on the Smash map New Pork City, which is massive, and we'd always play that when I was at work on our break. We'd always play one match there because it's fun to just jump around and people would try to camp out and that thing will just come and eat you. You can't camp on that map, and they put that in there, and he just straight up will just eat you, and you lose a life.
And I like that as you're running through this lab, he just appears in random spots, and you got to run because if you cannot fight him, you're insta dead.
You know, it kind of reminds me of a game. What other game do you kind of have to run from a ongoing enemy from each room to each room?
Resident Evil?
Yeah. Well, Resident Evil 2 more specifically, Nemesis or 3 Nemesis.
3's Nemesis and 2 was 2 Mr. X.
Or whatever the one where that thing will charge into the room.
Stars.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that giant thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also this game, it harks back to, I think it takes kind of bits and pieces of some nostalgia. You're saying, you had to get the pins before evil or good. Only good could do it, but like you said, there's 3 things. There's also nothingness. That honestly, when you said nothingness, the first thing that popped in my head was Never-Ending Story.
Oh yeah,
I never even thought of that.
So I don't know if that's what they're intended, but literally, as soon as you said that, that was the first thing that popped in my head.
I think that's what it is. Again, that's my interpretation of somebody who's kind of read, but kind of also clicked through really fast. I think that's, and Porky kind of talks about that later, which is what led me down to thinking that the whole nothingness thing. The only other thing I have for you in the Chimera Lab that's cool is near the end, you have this face off with the red Chimera. And it looks like you're going to kick the bucket and Salsa and Samba jump out and save you. There's a switch. So for some reason, this evil demon red Chimera has an on-off switch that's very accessible on its back. That's the only thing that saves you. So,
Salsa saves the day. And I don't know how much more we should highlight of 7 going into things.
Well, the only thing I wanted to ask you is, did you get to the part where you had to get a needle that was in the bottom of the pool? Did you guys get that far?
Yeah, that's right after the Chimera Lab where you go outside and they're like, well, we have these left over. It's like picking the droids in Star Wars. and the one you wanted was the 2-headed horse thing. What was that called?
He looked like he was designed for sucking water and spitting water.
Yeah.
He looked like a pump.
Yeah. 2-headed dinosaur. Giraffe. Yeah.
So did you pick that one or did you do what I told you to do?
No, I did not do what you told me to do. I read up and I picked the right one.
So I had to laugh. So there's options. It's like this giant like blower looking dude. I don't know what happens if you pick him. There's the sucker pump looking dude, which is clearly the right pick. To move, so a needle's in the bottom of one pond, and you've got to like drain one pond and fill the other one up. And the only other option is these bucket brothers, and it's just like two little munchkin dudes holding buckets. So it's like, that's funny. I'm going to pick them. Literally, they go in there.
You watch being called small people.
What did I call them?
Midgets.
Oh,
munchkins.
I didn't hear it.
Nah, I'm already
munchkins.
Okay, well,
trying to keep you from getting canceled there.
Yeah, I repent for my sins, Church of Woke. Anyway, so they go and they pick up. They got the buckets, and they what they do is they like one would take the bucket and he'd pick up some water and he'd hand the bucket to the other guy and he'd dump it in the pool. Everyone's like falling asleep. Like it is hysterical. Everyone's bored as these guys are moving. And eventually the game gives up. It's like, can you just go back and pick the right one this time? Don't let's do this.
When the game's like, come the fuck on.
So 7. The only other thing that John, because I think you made it further than Nick. Did you end up in the Mr. Saturn Valley?
Yeah. Hold on. So, okay.
Am I too far?
No, I wanted to highlight, and I talked about it. I mentioned it earlier, and it was in a storeroom in the lab, I think.
Okay.
Oh God, I'm trying to pull up a reference for it, but I just went onto the dumbest site ever. Now it's spammed with cookies. In Mother 3, Lucas and so My Secret Life, Chapter 3, is an excerpt from a fictional humor story in a magazine in Earthbound and Mother 3. It is about a person who speeds unnecessarily down the Jersey Turnpike, then makes a lie to the police officer that slowly gets more and more implausible. In Earthbound, it appears in the drawer of a house west of town that Ness buys for a lot of money. And in Mother 3, Lucas finds it on a shelf in the Chimera lab near a copy of Overcoming Shyness. And I'll read a little bit of this real quick.
Yep.
I was neither a murder suspect nor a target for an international spy organization. But I drove a car down the Jersey Turnpike at 80 miles per hour. A police officer pulled me over and asked me for my driver's license. He said I was going 20 over the speed limit. I instantly pointed to my wife and said, I'm in a hurry. My wife is in labor. Fortunately, my wife actually had a big stomach.
Wow.
I hoped he'd let me go with this excuse. Oh, since it's an emergency, I'll lead you to the hospital with my police car, he said. No, it's not necessary. Why not? Asked the officer. Well, let's get going, said the officer. No, we can't. This baby is a demon child. End.
What the hell?
Right?
What the actual fuck?
I laughed. I was like, and then that's it. I was like, there's more, and then there's not more.
This game throws in so much stuff, and I wish I had done a better job taking notes, but I would find myself just talking to people just to listen to the random shit they would say.
It's so weird.
There's some random stuff in this game.
It's so funny.
And none of it gets more random than the Mr. Saturn Valley.
Yeah, the
way they talk was so fucking funny.
Because they had their own font, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's like Qbert font.
That's the best way to describe it.
What was it, like KO? Like walk here, KO, fall down, hurt head. Like They were just basically like, two brain cells left in a round. And we used to call it Mr. Face.
Yeah, that's what we call it, Mr. Face. We throw Mr. Face at each other. Yeah.
He was the shield breaker in Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The only thing that was really notable for me in this, because I don't want to belabor our listeners to some extent, but I also want to hit all the high points, is like when you get out of the valley where you are with Mr. Saturn's, you once again have a means to escape using the rope snake. And the rope snake, again, has this whole story arc, which we talked about last time. He's insecure of himself because of the last time where his jaw let go. So he gets up the courage. He's like, I'm going to help you guys again. Like, I'm a lot stronger. And again, you take off with a rope snake, and I can't remember what it is. You get out of the valley with this. And again, the rope snake lets go. And you fall on the beach, but you actually fall where you're supposed to go. Like you're in a helpful place, but yet again, the rope snake lets you down.
I think it's like a bunch of birds or something.
Yeah, it's a bird cage.
That's what it is.
You have to catch a bunch of birds.
Yeah.
This brings you to so did you guys make it to the ocean? Let me know where you got to the point where you stopped playing.
Yeah, I kind of
7 obviously is when mine.
You got to keep grabbing oxygen like Sonic 2.
Yeah. How do you feel about that, John?
It's all right.
But you don't just get an air bubble. Did you see what happens, like what you have to do?
What is it?
So there are these robotic mermen that are at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to like make out with them in order for them to pump enough air into you. And like the screen cuts to pink and you're all embarrassed when you're done. So in order to get through the ocean, you're making out with robotic mermen.
So another reason why this might not be coming to America?
I could see that causing problems in the same way the Magypsies probably did.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the highlight is once you get out of the ocean, you end up in the, what is it, the Tanatan Island? Did you guys read about this at all?
What is it?
So you end up after this underwater fight, and I want to say like all your health is dropped down to 1. And you end up in the middle of this forest. So naturally, you come across like a pack of like wild mushrooms that are growing. So you, in order to get your health back up, eat these mushrooms.
Yeah. I did read about this.
And then you trip balls. So again, reminder: Lucas is
trip balls, right?
They all do. So like Lucas is probably 13. Kumatora is probably 16, 17.
Yeah.
I think she's older. Duster, I feel like, is like 28 and still living with his parents in the basement. And I think I had Duster at this point. So you're all walking around tripping balls. And you're running into all these characters that you had met throughout the game. And I think I sent you guys a screenshot of it. Like you get to this one point, you run into Flint. He's like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat you, boy. You run into Klaus. Is like, everyone hates you and I'm going to spit in your face or something like that.
Right.
All these people, all these characters that you run into have you're tripping out. So
crazy.
There's this one section,
more like it.
There's this one section that's cool where you come across, like the healing hot springs? So Duster, Kumatora, and Lucas all will jump in the hot spring and they get revived, and Boney won't go in. And it's like, well, that's weird. Boney didn't get healed. That's bullshit. So you end up at a Magypsy place and they're like, you stink. Like, you're really gross. Like, you're really fucking nasty. And basically he gets mad, makes you clean off. You find out later when you're done tripping balls that you missed the hot spring, which is in the back. It's like in through a door in the back. And instead, you just jumped in a pile of sewage, like a bunch of trash. And Boney's the only one that realizes it's not a pile of trash that you're wading through. But everyone else is like taking a bath in a pile of trash.
Whoops.
So, that really is the end of, I believe that's the end of 7, because I think that's the last part. You end up, I gotta remember where you are. I think you end up on a mountain and then in a temple and you fight Klaus, who is the masked man, but spoiler alert, you find that out later. And then that brings you into 8. Like once you get past the temple, so you end up in Newport City. And this, I think is the part of the game I wish you guys got to Newport City, because this is really where Porky reveals himself. I believe you're told, you're going to go meet Master Porky when the limousine picks you up at the temple, which is very weird.
Right.
And you end up in this giant city. And I want to say you end up in a theater, and they're playing scenes of Earthbound. What's very weird, and we'll talk about this in a bit, but Porky has set up this giant, massive city. And we didn't even talk about Porky. Do you guys know who Porky is from Earthbound?
I do. He was your next door neighbor to Ness.
Yep.
And he kind of had he wanted to be Ness's best friend. And his parents were weird. They spoiled him and stuff like that and let him get away with a lot of shit. And he actually becomes the villain of the Earthbound too.
So the U.S. Earthbound translation is by all accounts very, very good, but they did tweak some things in that it's widely believed that Porky and his brother Pokey, something like that. He's Pokey. He's Pokey in that translation. It's believed that he beat them. And I believe in the Japanese translation, there's a whole child abuse thing. So in Earthbound, it's he wants to be Ness's friend, but he's kind of set aside that he's going to be the bad guy. He doesn't fit in, so he's going to go on this other path.
Yeah.
Porky is a douche. He's basically he's obnoxious. He's offensive. He's a dick. He's your dick neighbor, but you have no one else to play with. So that's who you've got. You find out in this game that Porky is in fact the bad guy. And which is weird is he set up this shrine to himself, Newport City. And it's all this longing for Earthbound, which is very weird. That's the tie-in. He's got the movie theater where he's glorifying Ness. He's the one with the yo-yo in the Thunder Tower.
Mm-hmm.
So did you guys follow any of the story with later in the sewers? Because that's super important to the plot.
No, what happened?
So you're in the theater. You find there's this busted speaker, and it stinks like a stink bug. And for some reason, Boney gets through. You can't. So you have to go in through the arcade and go into the sewers. And this takes you into the sewers. You fight your way through these things, and you end up in this rickety old shitty apartment. And I believe his name's Leader. I don't really know how you pronounce it. The tall dude who rings the bell.
Oh yeah, from way back.
He doesn't talk all game, and in this one area, he gives you a massive fucking text dump, and he tells you the story of Mother 3. So last episode, when I told you guys that Tamzili, I can't remember the name of the town. Tazmily. It's fucked up, but it'll make sense later. It's because of this scene. So basically, everyone at Tazmily, the world existed before that, and basically the world got corrupted, shit hit the fan. This white ship appeared that took all these people from this decaying, dying world off to this island. And what the people did is they said, we can't replicate all the problems of the old world. We need to start anew, but we can't carry the baggage of the old world. So what they ended up doing is they basically brainwashed themselves. They stored all of their memories of the old world in the jade egg that Gwyneth Paltrow has left in the castle for Nick.
Hey,
yeah.
Basically, no one remembers the way life was before. They've all been in this brainwashed. So that's how you can have Wes, who's a thief, and Duster, who's a thief, who are in a town where there's no fucking crime, believing there's thieves. Because they brainwashed into believing that. Their purpose is to, if something goes wrong, to get that egg. They've been programmed to do that. Kumatora.
So what you're saying is this is straight up the Matrix.
They are in the blue pill. They are blue pilled to the extreme.
Yep.
So Kumatora, right? She's in a castle. How the hell is she in a castle? Well, she is, brainwashed into believing that was her role. I think someone makes a joke somewhere that they don't look like their parents. Well, it's because they're not their parents. some of the people, like if you look at Wes, he might not be Duster's dad because he's brainwashed himself into believing he's Duster's dad. They
Makes sense too, because he's always call him idiot or moron.
Yeah. That's what the hummingbird egg is, the jade egg is. That's all their stored memories. And there's one person who has a memory of the old world, and that is Leader. And he sits there and rings the bell, kind of stop people from remembering all the shit. Huh. But everyone's programmed that if shit hits the fan, it's kind of like they can get those memories back. So that's why they have no knowledge of commerce. They have no greed. They have no nothing. They're basically like living in the Garden of Eden until Porky shows up. Basically, after Earthbound, Porky's this douche who just like is flowing through time and space and comes across this like really nice place where everyone's simple and happy. And because he's a fuckstick, decides he's going to fuck with it. That's literally the plot. I think it's like, you've got a happy family. I didn't have a happy family growing up. I'm going to fuck with this family.
So Flint is not Lucas and Klaus's dad.
I think he is.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you know what I mean? They probably had those kids on the island.
Sure.
I do like the fact that the reason why Later is picked as the person who remembers the old world is because he's tall. That's literally why they picked him. Like I shall hold the memories, keep my old memories because I'm tall.
Yeah.
That's like when I said the whole scene with Flint is really fucked up when Kumatora dies and they don't have the ability to explain like, oh, I found your wife and she's got shit through her fucking heart and she's dead. They don't know how to talk about that because that's never existed. Their minds have been brainwashed to not have anything negative.
Right.
Which is dark. Okay. So I asked Nikki this. If you could bring your kids with you on, and you could bring your family or whatnot, but you would brainwash yourself and you could live in paradise, would you push that button?
Yes.
You'd have no memory of your prior life, but you'd be living in paradise with everyone.
Yep. All good.
Nick, would you push it?
What's the circumstances leading up to it?
You're living in 2021. COVID is fucking rampant. And you're locked in your home.
No.
You would? Okay, so let's hear. You would not push that button, even though your family could come with you.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's a selfish person. I think of me. Knowing that it's an easy out. I think is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I don't think shit gets difficult, obviously. But I guess if you're saying like it's the end of the world, yeah. Like, hey, we're gonna all die if we are there, or press this button, you don't die, you don't know your family, but you live a happy life. Then yeah. But if it's like into the same like, hey, shit's really tough right now, and it's gonna really try your family, then yeah, let's go through it. So. Yeah, I couldn't take the easy out if it was some like, oh, shit's tough. We here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna give you a perfect utopia situation, and it'll be that you just can't remember any of your family, your loved ones. They won't remember you, anything, or just deal with shit.
Well, I have to wonder how you end up with a family with a Flint, who's a cowboy, and Hanawa, which is clearly not a Western style last name, and you end up with a Lucas and a Klaus. I have to wonder if maybe it's their kids, maybe they're not their kids, but I don't know. There's something very weird about they ended up on this utopia. Mm-hmm. They pushed the button on the white ship.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense now. Because, like, when you first, I'm like, is this a Western? Oh, yeah. It's a Western with dinosaurs?
It's a lot of random stuff put together.
Oh, this guy's a cowboy, but Hanawa is from Asian origins. Okay.
So they made a comment like there's a castle. So they have that Osho castle.
Right.
They were so happy that and later says something like this Osho, we had this castle. It's great. This island had a castle so we could come up with a history of this island as we brainwash people, but we had to come up with a story so quick that there's a lot of holes in our story. We can't go back. That's why no one can remember further back. They don't have that story. They didn't have time to make it.
Ah. Huh. So I guess, is it that Flint is the dad? Flint and Hanawa were married and they had 2 kids? Because that's if I could have that, if I could keep what I have and reset and just have a happy existence, I would do it. But if you said I have to give up what I have, just the nuclear family, then I would say no. Because I like what I got, but if I could carry just a sliver of what I got, just the basics with me and reset, then I would do it, because it's why not? You get a couple more years of bliss that you wouldn't have had. Right?
This game presents a lot of interesting thought experiments, and as you get further into chapter 8, it kind of hits you with some harder shit than that, honestly.
Yeah.
I thought about that and I'm like, wow, that's kind of deep for a kid's game. And then the game
I was just saying for this came out on the Advance.
Yeah, GBA.
So just thinking of that time frame as well. So that's what 2006.
Yep.
What was running through. So that's we're in a world where it's post 9/11.
Yep.
We are, I think at that time we're also in a political transition in the U.S. So all these changes are happening. So, well, actually, it's after there. War's going on in the East as well.
Dan still has his first car.
Yeah, big thing.
Wait, no, 2000.
All these things.
In 2006, he's on his 12th car in 2006.
No, he still had the neon.
He still had the neon in 6?
Yeah,
that's horrifying.
Right,
poor car.
But all these things, it's kind of funny how the game developers and how they kind of build all those aspects into the game, be it pulp culture, everything. They kind of try to build it into the game. And, if you were to play this game as a teenager or a young, someone and just going, from 12 to 13, do you think you would uncover all these underlying aspects of the game?
No. And especially not the ending in 8, because that's heavy. I don't even think I would have appreciated this. Honestly, I don't think I would have appreciated this game until I had kids. To be quite honest, I think if we were to go around our group of friends and hey, let's take a vote on who's the sociopath in the group, I feel like I might not be number 1, but I'm at least going to make top 3 in everyone's list. and after having kids, this game bothered me when I got to the ending. Have you guys read the ending of 8?
Yep.
I did not. I was gonna actually have you tell me it.
Yeah, let's get to that. Yeah.
You end up at the tail end, you go through Porky City, and to describe the state that Porky has everything in, Porky's trying to relive the golden ages, his golden age. As you go through New Pork City, it's glorifying Earthbound. There's a boat ride where you're seeing all the images of things that were in Earthbound. It's like he's trying to relive it.
Yeah, he captured his childhood too. Like everything is still very childish. All those games you have to play, like
he forces you to play all these games with like a younger robot version of himself. Like Porky is clearly the human that can't let go.
Right.
So you finally get to Porky and you find out that he's still the same dick he ever was. But he's traveled through time and space so much that he's aged. He claims to be immortal, but he's basically bedridden in this robotic spider. And he basically shits on you and says, and he says kind of some profound things about the game, like, you idiots, I can't believe you thought that you were going to go and you could isolate yourself on this island and be happy. And to block out all these things. Like, how stupid is that? Eventually human nature will take over and then the evil will be right back. And which is what happened in this game. Like he very easily went and just this utopia fell apart as he got there.
Utopia probably would have kept on going if it wasn't for his interference.
Say that again?
I said the utopia effect might have actually went without his interference. So then that kind of begs the question, going down a huge rabbit hole in here now.
Fucking do it.
This would then say, this is stating then at this point, then utopia is technically something that could be achieved without outside human feeling. So if you're a blank slate and you're programmed in a sense, then utopia would be that human nature would actually exist with this, but it's going to hurt my brain. Fuck.
I don't think
it could. I don't think it could, because I think, in a sense, Porky's right that even without him, it would have been probably a matter of time where
eventually
human nature would take off.
Eventually, something
that
would
he
come
didn't
into
really,
play.
in a sense, he didn't. That even if he didn't come around, it was going to happen. He just kind of pushed it a little bit quicker.
That's exactly what it is. So he has a quote, and when you were talking, I was trying to find it, but he says, how stupid can you be? No matter how much you change the rules, no matter how you refuse to admit defeat, in the end, the creatures known as people will always sign their own death warrant by acting out of stupidity and evil. And then mankind will be gone for good. I mean, that's dark shit to put on a young kid. Basically, Porky's coming up and he's saying, like, whatever you do, this is futile. Happiness is futile.
The outcome's always the same, yeah.
Porky's endgame, and he talks about his masked man, his little robot. So Klaus, your brother,
right,
is dead. Fucking dead 9-year-old. Porky reanimates him as the masked man. He has no soul. He's basically a robot acting out Porky's will. Because Lucas can pull out the needles and make the world good. Porky wants this dead person with no soul to pull out the needles, so there's nothingness. So there'll be no one left in the universe that will dislike Porky. And he admits that. He's like, I want to be the only one that people love. So I want my person, it's going to be me and the dragon, and everyone who could hate me would be gone.
Yep.
Just fucked up.
Right? And
seriously, can you imagine playing this game when all high as fuck, by the way?
It's... John.
Or actually, John, did you?
Some percentage. Yeah, dude. So what got me though was when you fight Porky, you beat him, and it honestly didn't like the fight. I watched it didn't look that horrible.
It's not that climactic.
He just seals himself in the bubble in the iron lung.
So there's this super chamber that is made. Is it the safe? I can't remember what it is. It's like the assured to be safe something.
Capsule. Right?
And he can't get out. So for all eternity, he's going to be stuck in this alive.
And he just makes faces. Yep. And he just sticks his tongue out at people and nobody can say mean things to him. So he has his bubble and that's that.
His safe space. He has his safe space.
Oh man.
He's the original snowflake.
Right? Yeah, wicked. So that segues into you going up to fight the robot, the
masked man.
The masked man. So, harkening back to like chapter 2, you fight that mecha dino, and it pans out, and you see Klaus like lying there in the background in the mountains, right? So he's dead then.
Dead 9-year-old.
Dead 9-year-old. And they just reanimate, like, they kill all these things and reanimate them. So they just, they must put like, rage juice in it too, because everything wants to kill you.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's messed up, man.
The thing that got me with this, and I don't think I'd have picked this out if I hadn't had kids, is you end up faced off against the masked man, and he has no soul. He's dead. Like, you're literally fighting what it appears to be your brother, but there's nothing there. And it's your twin.
Like Proto Man.
It looks like he's dead, and he's your twin. Like, and your dad, like, you run into Flint on the way to fight him. He's like, I know it's Klaus. I found him.
Flint
found my son.
The tunnel vision. Yeah.
He don't care.
Yep.
He's ignored you this whole time. Like, you grew up alone. He found his son, but his son is like a dead robot.
Oh, I would be Flint I would go to the ends of the earth to like find a resolution to something.
Did you watch the fight at all? Did you get to witness that?
Yeah. So you don't even attack, right? It's just
can't.
Yeah.
If you go to attack him, it says like Lucas could not find the strength to attack his brother or something like that.
Right. So you just watch that ticker go down, the speedometer, the odometer, and then you just heal. And it was long, man, because it would just go to gray, and it'd be like, introspective moment. Oh, what's happening to me? Like, yeah. And then Hanawa's voice is coming in, and it's like trying to manipulate both parties.
I text you guys mid-fight because I was like, I'm getting through this game by tonight's record night, by hook or by crook. I don't care if I stay up all night doing it. I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
And I text him like, oh my God, this ending is taking forever.
Right.
And that's a design feature. That's designed to be that way. It is meant to be troublesome to you playing as Lucas, that all you can do is defend and heal, and it drags on. Because there comes a point in the fight where Lucas says, I give up. I'm exasperated. There's nothing I can do here. And then I can't remember if he attacks or not, but basically Klaus, after Hanawa speaks to Klaus zaps you, it reflects off your Franklin badge, and it kills him.
Yep. He realizes, and he's like, shit, what have I done? And then can't live with it. And
midway through the fight, Flint tries to save you, dies, and jumps in, gets zapped. He doesn't die, but Flint's dragged into this whole thing too. So like Flint's got to watch his now probably 13-year-old robot son die after not seeing him for 3 years.
Yeah.
You're just killed your twin brother, and then the only thing left that you can do in this game is the world is going to end. So you have to be the one to pull the plug and fucking end it. And like, you pull the plug and you watch the world explode, and it fades to a black screen that says the end ? And the only thing that gives you is the opportunity to like move the end arrow around and talk to the characters like, we're fine, we're happy, we're fine.
It's all black. It's nothing.
It's nothingness. Like, that's so fucking profound in a kid's game. Like,
so Lucas was not good after all.
No, it's open to interpretation is why they did that. So
this is like The Sopranos, man. The Sopranos ending just fades to black. That's it.
Yep.
What?
This is a fucking kid's game. This is like Nintendo is the Disney of video game makers, and it's like we have we got dead 9-year-olds and like a family that's ripped apart, and your mom gets murdered by a dragon.
Let's take us back. Maybe it's not the Disney. Maybe this game is kind of like the Miramax part.
What?
Because Miramax was owned by Disney.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know that. I did not know that. Yeah, I don't know. I sat there for a little bit after the fade to black screen. I'm like, wow, I'm bothered by this. This is, as a kid, I wouldn't have given a shit. How can you not be
bothered? Like I'd probably, if I play this kid, I'm like, oh, that's it. Fuck.
Yeah.
That was junk. I wasted all that time on that.
I would not have read into the deeper meaning. I would have liked the game for the gameplay.
Yeah.
It had great gameplay, but yeah, the story would have passed over my head.
What's very weird and is like when you go through all the credits, you remember the logo of Mother 3? It was like half wood and half metal.
Half metal, yeah.
When you start the game again, it's all wood and just the picture of the earth, which I think symbolizes you did the right thing and like this corruption of modernity is gone. You know, you can live this simple, happy life again.
Huh. Did you guys know that if you put your name as hard mode, the game will go into hard mode?
No, I didn't know that. There's a hard mode?
Yeah. But you have to put that as your name.
Fuck.
Right? And there's like a dash, like a space between. So you got to enter another character. But yeah, I just read that. I don't know if it's true or not. I haven't tested it out. But yeah, I was reading tips and tricks.
That's the only thing is at the end of the game, like I think you're God. I think is what the game or the equivalent of whatever the
They're
God
all like,
is.
thank you. Oh, we did so great. Yeah. No, you didn't. What is it? You're all just sitting there in nothingness now.
I think you're waiting for the world to I think it's like, again, Catholic upbringing. So I got that influence on here, but like I think you're sitting in like limbo waiting for the world to be reborn.
Yeah, like I guess because you wiped everybody's memory got wiped. So it's just like, what's the next phase going to be in the Matrix, right, Nick?
Or you say the never-ending story too. What happens at the end of the never-ending story? Yeah,
it's
when
the book,
before
right?
he names it, he's like, "What? You have both the Sebastian and the child, the princess or empress, in pitch black, and it's for him now to create the new never-ending, I forget what never-ending stories the place is called, but him to recreate it and bring back everything." Maybe I'm going off tangent, or maybe I'm just like sleep deprived, and that's over there. But that's the first thing I thought. Like when Matt, you said nothingness, and then now this ending, it clicked. It clicked. Like maybe they were like the person's like, I'm gonna make the never-ending story in a game.
Yeah, this man, this thing is a mind fuck.
God, much never-ending story. And then like, oh shit.
Man, kids in Japan were trusted with a lot more mature material than us here. Although I guess the Neverending Story was fine. All right, I cave on that.
I watched that too young. Yeah, that wolf gave me nightmares, man.
John, do you want to rank this bad boy? And then, did you want to do the casting, or what are your thoughts on that?
I didn't really get too far with it. All I wanted to say was that Duster is Dennis Quaid, and that's it.
I had Adam Driver as Duster because I wanted someone with a big nose, because he's got a big. That's like Baldwin.
Yep.
And I want
that too. That's
John
perfect.
Voight as Wes.
John Voight. Yeah.
And
man, that would be. Yeah, he's good at that, man. You ever watch Ray Donovan? He's an asshole. He can play that perfectly.
It's as far as I got.
Yeah.
Rank this bad. Like, what do you guys' final review? If you guys had to review this, your experience,
1 to 10, I'd say this is like an 8.5.
Yeah,
the gameplay. The only detractor was that fucking timing, and the backgrounds were a little contrived of the fight scenes. Like it's all like, "Woo, I'm trippy." Yeah, whatever. Why bother? Why use that? That was just like kind of weird. That's it. I love this game, man. Fantastic.
Nick, what do you think?
I'm close. Like, I mean, not 8.5, but I would say like 8. Solid 8. Again, like kind of same thing with John's thing is for me the biggest thing was the slow start to the beginning. Like I understand they're building a story, but if I was playing this during 2006, I was 20 years old. So, I don't know if I could have dedicated all that time. I probably would have gotten bored at that point.
Yep.
Definitely by 2. Like, okay, what's going on? This is supposed to be a JRPG. Where the hell is my other characters to build the team? So that slow start, but it really did take off after 4. And I can't really go after the combo system because, again, we play this on via emulation to be able to play this because they don't have a North American copy, obviously. And I don't know if playing it on original hardware would have been better, if it would have given us a better thing. Yeah, I'd say a solid 8. I mean, the story was overall now looking at it as...
Nick went robot.
No,
he's out.
Nick's gone.
Oh, shit. Well, we can close up. If he can come back in, I'll let him finish and cut it back in. If not, I'll do mine. But
I think you just do you, man.
I would rank this 9, if not a 9.5. It is a flawed masterpiece in my book.
It's real weird.
The slow start, I would recommend this to people, but with that caveat is you got to put in the hours early on and just trudge through it. The payoff is there, but just you've got a lot you've got to get through.
Yeah, you got to kill like 8 hours in a game before you get anything meaty.
But beyond that, like the story, I'm still kind of bothered by it, and I'm still kind of thinking through what I think with it, and which I think is a sign of a good game. Like Final Fantasy III did that with me, like Celis jumping off the cliff. That really bothered me. And in the same way that this game does, it's like they're very simple representations of a story. So they leave a lot of room for you to think and kind of insert yourself into it. Yep. So they did something with this game that I haven't seen. Nick just answered, "Did I die?" Yes, you did, Nick. You'll come back in the next world when I revive it.
The dragon got you.
They did something with this game that I've never seen. The way they handled story, the way they approach this topic, as a kid, you'd never notice it. As an adult, it's very disturbing. That's a hard line.
Yeah, there are a ton of layers too.
For me, this thing was top tier. I have our rankings. So on our list, Nick from today put this in his number 10 spot. So it exists between Pokemon Crystal and Aladdin for him. John, I believe
both his picks.
John, you put this in your number 11 spot. So between Terranigma and Star Tropics is where you place this.
Yep.
Nick's not going to be here to hear this. I placed this in my number 4 spot.
4. Wow.
Below Zelda Link's Awakening, above Good and Evil. Beyond Good and Evil.
Ooh, yeah. Good spot.
So average-wise, this now on our list as it stands today is the number 8 game. It exists below Castlevania Harmony of Dissonance, but above Cave Story.
That seems about right.
Our average list, and I'm going to post it somewhere, when we average all our thoughts, it's actually a reasonable, I could defend our order. Maybe not individually, but as a group, they're pretty solid.
We do balance each other out. Yeah. We have a lot of different base points. Dude, just the layers of this game were fantastic.
I was shocked because I did not like the game at first, much like Nick. And
remember when we played Twilight Princess in college, and it was like the first 6 hours of that game were boring and it was annoying. And you're just like, okay. And then once you get, like every Zelda game, once you get that first like big milestone, once you summit that first hill, then you're like, holy shit. All right. Then you see the mountain range ahead of you. So I think that's in this same vein. Some of these Nintendo games take a while to spin up.
This one was probably the longest. That's not true.
Oh, yeah.
That's not true. I take that back. Twilight Princess is probably the minimum acceptable, like a 6 hour. Final Fantasy 13 is like 20, 30 hours until the game gets good, and then it ends immediately after, and it's awful.
Oh man, Final Fantasy 2 was not that great at the beginning. Yeah.
Well,
Nick, while we're recording, why don't you do our takeout, and then we can insert everything if we can. If not, fuck.
Take me out.
Takeout. We are on social media, guys, and we are hitting hot and heavy on the what was that? It was our I want to say it was our Twitter, but it wasn't our Twitter. It was a Instagram. You hit hot, Matt.
Doesn't happen.
I know.
Blind squirrel found
Blind squirrel.
Yeah.
That's what it takes. So yeah, we're on Instagram. We are on Twitter, Spindash Retro. We also have in both profiles, you can find a link to our Discord. Please join. Again, you get to talk to John, me, and Matt. Mostly John, because he's a talkative little bitch in there. No.
Yeah.
We're all talking.
Just give me some boxed wine. I'll chat your ear off.
He likes it. And it gives you a way to formally complain to John about our stuff. But also we talk about the game of the week. We talk about, any upcoming picks that we have, pickups. Yeah, be part of a conversation. Join us on there. We have another upcoming game, and I'm excited for it. It's one of my favorite. Actually, it is undoubtedly next to Sonic, my favorite character in the gaming industry.
So John and I predicted last time it was Mega Man X. Were we right?
You were not right. It was a man.
No.
It's a Bomberman. So next game is Mega Bomberman.
Mega Bomberman.
Yep.
For the Genesis.
For the Genesis.
Alrighty.
And under I think it's best titled Hudson Soft. Because it does join another there. So please join us for the next one. Can't wait. John, I can't wait for your take on Bomberman.
I like Bomberman. I don't know if I like Sega Bomberman, but we'll see.
It gets 2 points docked off from John's score just because it exists on a Sega console.
John. What do you have against Bomberman and Kangaroos?
We'll get into that.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for joining us. And catch you next time on Spindash Retro.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.